welcome to this screencast tutorial meant to help you have a better understanding of our final assessment for Unit 1 in MYP English. This final assessment is going to ask you to create two separate texts. The first text is your final poem of the unit. This poem may be devised using the approach of your choice, a blackout poem, performance poem, or found poem. The second component to the assessment is your 200 to 300 word rationale. What is a rationale? A rationale is a brief explanation of the choices that you've made when writing your poem. The rationale will be exploring what you've done in that poem and why you've done it in the manner that you have. The rationale is going to give the reader of your poem a bit more background, context, and further insight into the work that you've done. There are several things that you need to include in your rationale. Firstly, consider how research helped educate your final poem. How did you use your research to create your poem? You should also explain why you selected the type of poetry that you've selected. If you've written a found poem, explain why you made that choice. You also need to explain what it is that you're saying about your identity within the poem. If the poem is a little bit abstract, that's okay. Your rationale is your place to do that extra bit of explaining that you would need to do. Remember that your rationale needs to be written in formal register. This is an academic document. Your rationale also needs to explain how and why you've used at least 5 different literary devices. And lastly, within your rationale, we should have several references from your poem. Please review the rubric. The criteria are there for you to be looking at, rereading as you're working on your rationale. That's going to inform your best final draft. Another document that's going to be very important for you when working your way towards your final rationale draft is the check sheet. Now, the check sheet has a variety of questions that you should be asking yourself, as well as having another peer ask of your work. That's right, peer review is going to be extremely helpful in ensuring that you put forward the best final draft possible. So, the questions on the check sheet. Is my rationale proofread? Is there evidence of revision? The final draft that you hand in should not be the first draft that you've written. I've also asked, is your rationale 250 to 300 words in length? Now, you might be saying, wait a second, on the task sheet it said 200 to 300 words. Why does it say 250 here? I really doubt that if you wrote a rationale of 200 words that you would be able to incorporate all the right ingredients for your rationale. 250 really is the minimum. Do you include specific references to at least 3 approaches to research? You should be talking about the research and how it informed your poem. Have you discussed how and why? The why just is as important as the how here, that you've used 4 to 5 different literary devices. Do you discuss how experimentation with form has brought you to your final poem? In other words, again, why did you choose to write a blackout or performance or found piece for this? Do I specifically is sort of shouting at us here, cite from my poem at least 3 times? Now, when you cite from your poem, you can do this one of 2 ways. Include the line number of your poem, or just go ahead and directly quote from it. Lastly, also you should be kind of addressing our statement of inquiry for this unit, which is identity is a process which demands your engagement. Do you talk about how you have engaged with your identity here in this poem? I wish each and every one of you the best of luck with creating your final poem and your rationale. Remember, if you have questions, ask them. We are here to help you out.